Hey everyone, welcome to the second week in November. This week we are still talking about contentment, which is all about learning to be okay with what you have. And I think this is just a super important understanding that the kids need to get to learn. And so it's going to be a great week. We're still rolling on that, okay? Especially with Christmas rolling up. So this first one, what they're going to do is you're going to have dice and some paper and some markers, and basically with this you will take the die and you will simply have them calculate keep a tally of how many points they get. But if they roll a 1, then they get out for that round, as in they lose that round, okay? If they roll a 6, that simply means they have to roll again. Anything in between is what they count. And so if they get a 2 through 5, they can keep adding up those numbers, but they have to keep risking the chance of rolling a 1 and then being out of the game. And so at any point, if they roll a 1, they're out of that round. And then everyone else has to keep going until they decide to either stop or they roll a 1 and then they're out of that round. And so see if you can kind of get their gears turning. We are talking about King Ahab and how much he wanted and how he kept wanting more and more and more and more. And because of that, it ended up leading to his destruction. And it ended up being really bad for him because that's all he ever wanted was more and more stuff. And so with that, it's kind of a lesson of like, hey, if you keep betting, if you keep doing, if you don't play it safe every once in a while, then you know what, like you're going to kind of end up like him. And so not to mean that in a bad way, but we want their gears to start turning in that way. Okay, so this next one, you'll have some coins, and with these coins, you're going to see how many of these coins that they can stack on their elbows and then catch them. Okay, now with this one, basically you take the coin, you put it on your elbow, and then you balance it on there for a second, and whenever you're ready, you basically try to, I missed that one, you try to grab them. And so I used to be really good at this. There we go. And so when you grab it with your elbow, you kind of do it in one fluid motion like that. You want to see how many they can stack up on top of each other and then grab all at the same time. The understanding or goal being when you stack too many of them and then you try to grab those, you lose. And so if we keep doing more and more stuff, it's not going to end up good for us, in other words, or we're eventually going to lose. Okay, then we'll go off to a large group and talk about that. We'll see the videos and stuff on that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have a butcher paper and some markers. And with this butcher paper, you're going to have them draw something that they want to have. Okay, so this can be like a future Christmas present or whatever, like just something that they want. Okay, now what you're going to do is go through a couple of the questions at the bottom with these wants. And so what does it mean to be content? What does it look like to be content even when you don't get what you want? Things like that. And so as they're drawing out the things that they want, ask them some of those questions and stuff, and even talk about maybe something that you want too. Like you can even draw your own thing on there, but then be honest and be like, hey, I want to still be content even if I don't get this in the future or whatever, because contentment is not about things that we have. It should be about just the Lord and relying on Him. And so be pushing that point a lot with them. This next one, what you're going to do is you're going to have some masking tape, and with this tape, they're going to tape some pieces on their back. So have them do 3 pieces of masking tape per back of shirt, and then they're going to go around, and when you say go, they will go and try to grab the masking tape from everyone else's back while also trying to kind of guard theirs to where no one can get theirs. And so see how well this goes. If it gets too rowdy, of course you can stop it and stuff like that, but then go ahead and go through the questions that are at the bottom of that page too, and share about a time when you wanted something so much and you didn't get it and you were not content, and then talk about how did you respond? Did you pout? Did you go cry in a corner about it? Were you obsessed of thinking about it? Things like that. So talk through those things with the kids and be like, hey, this is something that we should not obsess over. We shouldn't obsess over things that we didn't get or that we really wanted or whatever, You may or may not have this game. We haven't decided if we're putting it in yet, but it's going to be a cool one. Basically, they will have these long pieces of sheets, and what you're going to do is you're going to have some dice that go along with it, okay? And these little note cards will have numbers on them, and each one of these will be covered up, okay? So when they're covered up, the kids won't be able to look under them and see what they are yet. But you'll divide your group into 2 teams. And when you divide your group into 2 teams, each team will, pick who's going next or whatever. You can kind of rotate throughout the kids, and then they will roll the die. When they roll the die, they can decide to keep the points that they rolled or they can decide to bet if they can get a better deal on the sheet. And so if they do that, then they roll the die, and that die will correspond with a number that's on one of the note cards. And with that number, they can peel off the number, and there are good ones and bad ones. And so like this one is split your team score in half, and so you lose half your points. But this one is like add 3 points to your team. And so it depends on if they want to bet or be more safe for that specific game, okay? This next one, you'll have some beanbags and some Bibles. And with the beanbags and Bibles, they're going to split up in teams, or you can just do it all together if you have enough of the beanbags. And they'll put them on their head, and wherever you say is the start and finish line is their goal to get from the start and finish line without using their hands and getting the beanbag that's on top of their head. Now, after they get really good at that, you can have them do multiple beanbags on top of their head, and then keep going. And then I want you to look up Luke 12:15 and read it out loud together, and then talk about the questions that are under your sheet as well. But you know, again, the more and more things that we pile on, the more things that it is to juggle, and the harder it is for us, okay? So then you're going to want to go to the prayer activity, and you can pull out that butcher paper again with all of the different ideas and things that they want, and then go ahead and ask for God's guidance to be content even when you don't get what you want. And so kind of like talk about that with the kids, and to talk about how that's what you want for them, is to be content even if they don't get whatever's on that piece of paper. And so that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for all that you guys do. This week, the secret word is going to be beanbag, okay? So say the word beanbag to me, and you will get entered into a drawing, and that drawing gets you a gift card. So thank you guys again. See you guys soon.